Welcome to HIVEMIND. By joining the HIVEMIND, and influencing the decisions of characters in this story, you will be able to influence the story behind Georgia's Eurovisn't14 entry. This is the first episode, The Boy on the Road. Trigger warning, this episode will feature mentions of a dead body, but nothing graphic. The Georgia region of Georgia, with its dark trees and foggy mountains, is one of the least talked about regions in Georgia. With its low population, nothing ever happens there. It is populated by small villages dotted around. This is why, when back in 2012, Lia Dalids, a single mother's teenage son, Luka Dalids, went out to hunt with two friends, but never returned home, caused a lot of confusion. The weird part is that the only person who experienced this confusion for quite some time was Lia herself, because the disappearance gained no media attention. This was until a shocking revelation was made in the case, which blew it up into one big conspiracy. The 17-year-old Luka Dalids was born to Lia Dalids in 1995 when she was only 20 years old. Lia, having come from a poor family herself, and not knowing Luka's father, made it hard to give Luka good circumstances growing up. Luka was a bright boy. Although introverted, he always saw the best in people. Wanting to help care for his mother, he finished school at 15, and started running different small errands for shops in the town for small amounts of cash. These errands consisted of traveling out from town and buying bulks of different foods, helping maintain stuff, and hunting. Hunting was exactly what he set out to do one late autumn night with two friends. Packing a small bag, and his hunting shotgun, he said goodbye to his mother Lia and closed the front door of their medium-sized village house. Unbeknownst to her, this goodbye would be the last words she would hear from her son. Lia did not like her son going hunting, but she knew how much it meant to him, to be able to help her, so she never told him. Her uncomfortableness with this is why she always stayed up, waiting for him to come home, even though he would sometimes come home well into the night, as late as 3 a.m. As the night went on, she laid in bed, looking through the small space of the almost closed bedroom door, waiting for Luka to come home. The night went on, but as the time came closer and closer to 3 a.m., she felt something was wrong. She felt a twisting sensation in her stomach, but her body laid frozen on the bed, eyes wide open. The time kept going, but at a gruelingly slow pace. 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., but the front door never went up that night. And as the morning came and Lia's alarm clock went off, she finally managed to move, sitting up in her bed, which now was wet with cold sweat. She went on with her day, afraid to acknowledge the fact that her son hadn't come home. At noon, she couldn't wait anymore. She called Luka's phone. No answer. Called again. No answer. Almost flying out of the door, she went to the house of the friend Luka most frequently went hunting with. She felt a weird feeling of relief when his friend was the one who opened the door. But like she almost knew before asking him, he told her what she did not want to hear. As Luka's two friends had wanted to stop hunting after an unsuccessful night, Luka had kept going without them. Her police call that same day went as expected. A teenager not coming home. The police officer of course told Lia that Luka probably had run away from home, and she should wait a few days to see if he came home. As those days grew to a week, Lia gathered Luka's friends, and their families, to help search for Luka in the areas where he usually went hunting. And of course, they didn't find anything. As the time grew, so did Lia's dread. 1 week grew to 2, but unbeknownst to Lia, her son was found after those 2 weeks. On an autumn night, Georgian farmer Vano Bukia was driving to his storage barn, a few kilometers away from his farm. He only needed to get there a few times a year. This time because it was time to harvest his crops. Because of his infrequent driving on this private road, it was covered by autumn leaves. As the light beams from his tractor mixed with the moonlight showing itself through the bare trees, he saw a big pile of leaves. Not giving it much thought, he drove over it. Although not able to hear the bone-chilling crack because of the engine of the tractor, Vano certainly knew that it wasn't just a pile of leaves he had driven over. Stepping out of the tractor, he felt his body numbing as he saw the faint outline of a hand sticking out from what he previously thought was a pile of leaves. Not being able to look, he frantically called the police, telling them the situation, and how he just drove someone over. Due to the ruralness of the area and the small police unit in Guria, Vano had to wait an entire grueling hour for the police to come. The police quickly secured the scene of the accident, but when pushing the leaves away from the body, they saw that it was no accident. The leaves revealed a gunshot wound. Vano felt the time creeping, but as quickly as they had come, the police left again, taking the body with them, with the intent of continuing the investigation in the dawn of the morning. As Vano laid sleepless in his bed the rest of the night, he only had one question. Which person's kid had horribly died like this? This is where the first episode of HIVEMIND ends. In the form linked in the description and on Discord, you will need to answer these questions. For the police, you will need to answer how they should start the investigation. For Laya, you will have to answer what she should do about the lack of attention paid to her son's disappearance. Good luck, your choices will matter.